What up? What up? What up? This Ibn Webb, Ib Webb, Quran, the Sum here, official thanks thing going down here, doing Essex County all day edition here. Man, I'm excited about this gentleman I'm have coming on, Walter Morton. Walt, I know him as, and a lot of us know him as. So, I have an opportunity to be. I'm a little younger than Walt, but just having to see his come up and you know, well, it's athletically, and I know there's some other things in his life that he's done some great things, family man, everything here. Like I said, I'm excited when I was able to catch him and he said he'd do it. Like I said, little kids sometimes come out of me here when doing all this stuff here. So look at me stumbling over my words already. But I'm looking forward to just talking to Walt, see how he's doing and just catch up with him. So hold tight. Yes, yes. Peace, Walt, man. How you
Right.
doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm hanging in there.
Good, man. I appreciate you just taking some time out, man, to do this. Like I said, I know tracking you down here and everything else here, man. So I appreciate it, family. I appreciate
No doubt, man. I'm a ghost. Take one, man. Moving. Do what I gotta do, and then I'm out, man.
yes, man. You looking good, man. You down there, down in the Charlotte area.
Yes. Yep. Right outside of Charlotte, man. Been here since 2008.
Okay.
When my boys was youngsters, when they was 3 and 6.
Okay.
You know, decided as much as we love New Jersey, much as that's our home, we wanted a different situation for them cats. And just took a leap of faith and worked out for us. We landed up in a good spot. Charlotte is a beautiful area. It was an upgrowing city then. It's booming today. And my boys had, great experiences. They 19 and 16 now.
Wow.
Birthdays are coming up soon. So they'll be 20 and 17 before it starts. So yeah, man. So we're very proud of them. Got one in college, and one working on it, one on the way. So
Good stuff. Good stuff. As far as what you're doing with yourself now.
Well, I work for one of the telecoms. I've actually been with AT&T for a minute. Started with them back in 98, 99. So that's my main gig. Telecommunications management is what I went to school for. Partially engineering as well. Now I studied at the College of New Jersey and DeVry, and then also Keller, their management program. So combination of communications and engineering has been pretty much what I've been doing primarily. But on the fun side, golf and coaching. You got boys that play sports. Like it or not, you're gonna end up being the coach, especially if you're not happy with what you're seeing being provided to the kids. It's kind of hard to sideline and not do right by the kids. So I kind of got sucked in. My man Brev got stuck, and we ended up coaching because being on the sidelines, we saw that the kids weren't getting what they should be getting, the stuff that we got growing up, where cats was coaching for the love of the sport, coaching for the love of the kids, not looking for checks, not looking for ways to advance their career, just coaching because they loved us. And so we wanted to kind of give that back to the kids in this community when we saw that there was some good coaching, but there was also some bad coaching and a lot of daddy ball. So so we got engaged and did a lot of that. And even still today, Brev has moved on to Memphis, but I'm still engaged in coaching, trying to retire. As the kids get older, it gets harder to coach them. They develop their own personalities and their own idea about their lives and what they want to hear from different adults. Sometimes it's a battle. But my kids have gone away, and then they've since come back as they've gotten older and appreciate the experience and the knowledge that we can bring them. But you go through that evolution where they want to hear everything you got to say when they're young. They be early middle school, early high school. They don't want to hear nothing you got to say. They got it under control. But then when they get a little bit older, they realize, you're just there for love. You just got their back, and it's unconditional. So it's been good, man. It's been a good journey with my boys. They've been very proud of them. They've been
Yeah.
very successful. And I got nothing but good things to say about them. So
Nah, it's interesting. Now, were you coaching like AAU or something like that, or were you high school or?
well, I started back when, like I said, when my boys were younger. I've done, Pop Warner football, Pee Wee football, Pop Warner
Mhm.
football. My boys, they started playing when they was in second, third grade.
Okay.
Before they could barely kneel down and get into a 3-point stance with their equipment on. They've been, playing football, and the same thing with baseball, and the same thing with basketball. I've even gotten them into golf a little bit. They don't play as much as I want them to play, but they can play it. I've coached all the way through. So probably since about 2009, 10, coaching at some capacity in winter, fall, spring, and summer. And like I said, for me, it's just more building relationship with kids, building that camaraderie, providing that community for them. And personally, for me, again, is giving back what somebody just gave to me from the goodness of their heart. Buying me ice cream after practice when I couldn't buy my own ice cream, and an extra 5 minutes to explain, just simple things about life that didn't have anything to do with sports.
That's
because
right.
they learned about my grades or my behavior, or my home situation, or giving me a ride home from practice because they know, moms didn't have a ride at the time. Just little things, man. So being able to do that, is always for me, that joy that I get. But now that my boys are getting older, they on their way out, do their own thing. I'll fill that up with golf.
Yeah. Oh no, most definitely, man. And the foundation was laid, man. So they just take whether it's sports or just stuff from in the house, which you guys done taught them. They take that and they go with it. I mean, at a
Absolutely.
certain point, at a certain point, that foundation is done and everything. They still come back for a jewel or two, but for the most part, though, like they just take everything and run now. I know having that empty nest, it sounds like it's on its way, man. You gonna be all right?
I'm good, man. Hey, look, and unless they start banning us from golf courses again,
Yeah.
you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I'm going to be all right.
Okay.
Unless the laws change that drastically,
Hmm.
uh, I'm gonna find something to do with my time. I'll be good.
Okay.
So I'm still active. So I can play 2, 3, 4 days a week if my
Yeah.
wife, and I'm good.
Nah, most definitely, man. I'm
Play
gonna take.
sport. So hopefully I'll get to just kind of sit in the stands and be a parent,
Yeah.
um, which is what I'm looking forward to, and just sit back and cheer and just love them for what they're doing, and not necessarily have to be in the air as a coach. Them days is looking like they're getting behind me. So I'm
Mhm.
with that, looking forward to it.
Nah, definitely, man. I'm gonna take you up 95 a little bit, man. If it's all right.
All right.
Nah, cool. Now, are you from East Orange? If I'm
Born,
gonna take.
actually, back in my day, if you was considered born in East Orange, that means you was born in Orange Memorial. I was born in Orange Memorial, like a lot of us from the 73,
Mhm.
74, but yes, East Orange, man, East Orange, hometown. I was there until 18, till I
Mhm.
transitioned on to college,
Okay.
which initially Trenton State College. So yeah, dude, that's home. Always will be.
Only child.
Nope, I got an older brother, nicknamed Pudge, but William, he's 4 years older than me, and then I got my little brother Warren.
Mm-hmm.
So he was always on my side when we was growing up. So yeah, he's in Virginia right now with my mom, and then my older brother's out in Pennsylvania.
Okay, so you were sandwiched in between the two.
Yeah, I'm the middle kid, and then we got no sisters, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, so my mom's, mom's was my sister. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Raised by women predominantly. Um, my mother, my grandmother, and then my aunts. I had one uncle that we were really close with when we was growing up, and the community,
Mm-hmm.
all my boys, all my my brothers and sisters, the Bowman family, the Knight family. my man Leroy Cooper and his parents. You know, just there's so many cats that kind of ushered us through, you know, a family through these storms over the years. But that's home, man. That's home, and every one of those families that touched us is a extra mom and a dad that's always loved on us and took care of us. So, but that's these storms in a nutshell. You know?
Nah, definitely, man. How was activity wise? I mean, obviously sports played a part. Getting into anything else as far as just growing up, as far as activity wise?
Nah, man. Well, you know how it was back in the day. You growing up, started out. You know, you represented your school, went to Washington school. You represented your park, played in Washington Park. um, did the tour because being on that side of town. So Elmwood Park was always a destination for us. Orange Park was always a destination for us because Washington Park was kind of sandwiched in the middle. But so I grew up representing that park in the summer leagues and on the baseball teams. Playing against all my old dudes, Ab Madison and Omar Cooper and Fabian Thorne and James, all my dudes, Cecil Bonds, Keith Roberts.
Yeah.
Those are the cats. I grew up sharpening my tools, playing against those cats, and rocking with those cats. And then whenever we had an all-star team, we was teammates. So it was the best of both worlds. I got to play against some of the best and be friends with some of the best and just kick it with some of the best cats. And then also have an opportunity to be teammates with them different times during the year for different sports. So it was a cool experience, cool life. As a kid, stayed out of trouble for the most part. We all test the waters.
Oh yeah, of course.
But nah, man, I was lucky enough to have adults and coaches and teachers in my life that let me know that they cared about my well-being. They cared about my education. They cared about my success in life. They cared about my reputation. So it kind of makes you accountable. So I was always around my friends' parents who were good parents. So it wasn't like I could get out of the crib and then go around the corner and get away with anything.
Nah, it's that whole village approach. Absolutely.
That's just that's the way it was, because half the folks in these storms that I didn't know, if I didn't know them, my mom knew them, my dad knew them, my older brother knew them. So I wasn't getting far. I wasn't getting away with that. So, but I wouldn't have it any other way, man. That's just the way it was. So
what did you gravitate to as far as playing sport? What sport you first gravitated to?
So right out of the gate, man, I was a football cat. That was first love. But back in the day, football was one of those sports where you can't just go into the park and there's a whole equipment room sitting there and you just grab. You a growing kid, that's money. As you see, you got to replace that Rydell or that got to replace that helmet. You got to replace some cleats. So football for us was expensive with so as much as that was my first love, I really didn't get a chance to play and enjoy it until I got to high school for 1 year at East Orange, and then I transferred to Seton Hall Prep. But football was definitely something that I wanted to do. But because of that, it ended up being baseball, ended up being basketball, ended up being track and stuff like that. Stuff that was a little bit more affordable, a little bit more accessible, which, for me, I'm fine because I don't feel like, I missed out on anything. Because at the end of the day, with everything going on with football, it's probably not the safest sport to play anyway. So, it was God's way of looking out for me.
Nah, definitely. But hold on, you slipped one in there. So you did track, huh?
I did a little bit. Well, the problem with track was everybody wanted me to high jump.
Okay.
Everybody wanted me to high jump and sprint. And the problem with track is in order to practice track, you got to run. All the day time. Or the high jump. but what I realized was, I didn't have that motor or that desire to just get up and go do that. You put a ball in my hand, I'll run all day. You tell me to put the ball down and then just go run track or just go work back out. That wasn't something that lit a fire in me. As much as I kind of got pushed in that direction, especially even in high school, track coaches always wanted me to at least do high jump, right? Hook us up with that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't, man. I always declined just because I knew it wasn't in my heart. But track was one of those things where I dabbled in it, but I could never commit to it. Not like I did, basketball. And that kind of happened with basketball, I would say somewhere around 6th, 7th grade, where as much as, like I said, I wanted to play football, didn't really happen. I was playing baseball, loved basketball. So those were the two sports I played predominantly through late grammar school, all of middle school. Then when I got to high school, even baseball, I dropped. I dropped baseball and picked up football. So I played my freshman year at East Orange, played freshman, played JV, played varsity. Looking forward to coming back that next year and being on the varsity squad, potentially starting the zone varsity basketball. Looking to fight for a spot there, potentially starting. You know what I'm saying? And then that whole summer got turned around, and I got an opportunity to go to Seton Hall Prep. And so, that kind of switched everything.
But before we get there, now, speaking of basketball, my memory serves me right. You did Little Lads.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, the memory serves me right.
Yeah, definitely. That was that was all a part of the process of taking cats from East Orange that was representing their park, representing their school, putting us all together in the same gym, and making that little East Orange All-Stars team. So every year, the winter teams, towards the end of the year, each of the coaches would throw a couple of their players in a hat, say, hey, look, you know what, recommend this guy, and then we would all get in the gym and try out for Little Lads or, work out together and try to figure out, if we can, put a team together to go down Trenton and compete. Hamilton area, down at I think it was like Hamilton High School.
It's Hamilton, down there,
high school. So yeah, man. So for me as a kid, that was one of the early big joys or early big things that we used to look forward to every year. Because that was something that started, I guess, for me, 3rd, 4th grade.
You did. So you did the little rims.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? You go, you go through that whole experience, and we traveling, right? So first time getting on the road, packing up, saying bye to moms, you know what I'm saying, with the little duffel bag and picks in the bag. When you out, you got a little bit of spending change, and youngsters. But for us, it was everything. Trenton was so far away, Hamilton was so far away. That hour and a half ride felt like 4 hours.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And that weekend felt so long. But at the time, it was the best thing ever.
Yes.
I could have been in Hawaii, and it wouldn't have been any more fun or meant any more to me. We stayed in the room 5, 4 deep, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Right. But the crazy thing about it is some of the cats that we competed against, became friends. The Mark Basses of the world from down that way, Mark Colby and so many other cats that we came across, cats from the Gauchos, North and Riverside Church. So just that whole experience, you don't realize, you're creating this universe, right, of community. And you never know when your paths are going to cross again. I didn't go to, and eventually go down to Trenton State and spend 10 years almost of my life in that zip code. But yeah, it was an experience, and as a kid, it was one of those things that opened the world up for me beyond East Orange,
Yes.
which is important for us. Being able to get out of our cities and be able to get out of our communities and understand that there's a world beyond whatever it is you're experiencing at the moment. And it definitely did that for me. And I know the rest of the cats. So,
Nah, most definitely, man. And you mentioned that 1 year in East Orange. Now football, that even that freshman, what
yeah,
positions did you play?
yeah. Oh, I was all over the place when I first, I just wanted. I didn't even want the ball. I was just like, let me just play defense. I just want to hit somebody. I've
Yeah.
been my whole life to strap it up. So crazy when we first started, first couple of days of practice, you just going through drills and you just sparring. And for me, what was it called? What is it called? Like bull in the ring.
Bull in the ring. Yeah, bull in the ring.
On your back, lay on the ground, helmet to helmet, and you get up and you pop off.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, going to the moon for me because I was like, I finally, because we played in the street back
Mm-hmm.
in the, we played touch football, we played tackle in the grass, we played in the snow. But for me to actually be able to strap it up full gear, put a helmet on my head, and go out and play football for the first time, I had so much pent up aggression and energy.
Yeah.
I was laying cats out.
Mm-hmm.
And me, when I first got there, it was like, okay, you're gonna play linebacker, or you're gonna play defensive end, and that's what I did initially, and I loved it. I didn't want to play offense, and then it was like, you kind of move pretty quick. We want to put you on the line and have you blocking, getting out on blocks. So I'm blocking for cats like,
Okay.
James Garrett, and we had a couple of cats. I'm trying to think that used to run the ball. I know Ab got hurt, Rashid got hurt, so they got bounced out early. But yeah, I used to love put me on the line,
Mm-hmm.
call a sweep.
So you pulling and letting it off.
I'm gonna clean up at least 2 or 3 cats on my way down. You know what I'm saying? So I was happy with that, dude. I was just so happy to be playing organized football after waiting for so many years.
Yeah.
I was good, man. I was good. I was in heaven. But it was short. Like I said, it was short lived. Silly me. Can't predict the future. But it was definitely a good time for me. It was fun. And it was my freshman year in high school,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which was just a great time in general. East Orange High School was amazing.
Yes.
Some of the best times of my life was there, and a lot of memories. And so walking out the doors and not coming back definitely cut me deep. But I don't regret any of the time that I spent there, and definitely wish I could have stayed and graduated.
Because now, because you mentioned basketball, so you wound up playing a little bit of varsity freshman year in East Orange. Or suiting up or what have you.
So the crazy thing was, right out of the gate, myself and my partner Rashid Caraway, we were slated to play varsity out of the gate. That
Mm-hmm.
summer of our 8th grade year, coming out of middle school, we were playing. We were splitting time between the 8th grade middle school team over at Elmwood Park for summer league,
Mm-hmm.
and playing later on in the evenings with the JV and the varsity squad. The summer of our 8th grade year, just to kind of get us acclimated to the level of play and get us comfortable being around the older cats.
Yes.
So Coach Griffin was like, "Hey, look, man, I'm letting y'all cats know early. I'm putting a lot of pressure on you to grow up quickly, right? And understand, that I'm putting a lot of eggs in your basket." Which both of us, we loved it. We loved the challenge. We was looking forward to it. Couldn't wait to bust through the doors at East Orange High School.
Mm-hmm.
And do that thing. So that summer we played a combination of, like I said, we played with our 8th grade cats. We played with the JV varsity squad, and we played with the varsity squad. Just to kind of get comfortable in that environment. So day one, going into high school, we always worked out. We always practiced with the varsity squad. That was no question. Now I did bounce back and forth between the JV and varsity, but that was play 2 quarters here
The
in the
whole
night,
quarter thing in the night, in the day.
4-quarter maximum or something like that. But predominantly it was varsity, and I got to the point where we were just playing varsity. I think Rashid was still suffering. He got hurt playing football, so he really didn't play that year. Because he was back and forth in and out with his ankle, because I think he completely broke his ankle playing football, trying to catch a pass in the end zone. So he struggled through his freshman year with that, and then he eventually transferred. He ended up moving to Florida with his grandpa. So yeah, man. So I went through that experience, and again, loved every minute of it. Got to play varsity as a freshman. Got to experience playing in a state tournament. I think we played against Linden that year.
Okay.
Was it Lee Mullins and the Cats? Baby Jordan is I think who we might have lost to that year, my freshman year. So yeah, man.
He was out of Mackler. West was out of Mackler.
Not Lee Mullins. I'm thinking about my bad.
Is it Corey Floyd? Not Corey Floyd. Okay.
Right. The other Baby Jordan.
The other one. Yeah.
My man Jay Porter was one of them too.
Yeah.
Man. So that was my freshman year, which was fun. And again, I'm coming back, and we're gonna run that thing back again, and we only gonna be better. Plans change.
Question. Speaking of that, how do you meet Mr. Sweeney?
So that was the whole other side of the equation for me in terms of basketball. So outside of playing little lads and playing locally in East Orange, I used to hop on the bus and take a ride down to the North Y, play for the North Y Rams on their AAU team. And so, that was, my way of, competition hunting, right?
Yes.
Where is the best ball being played? Where can I, sharpen my skills? Where can I get better? So didn't really understand the concept. I thought AAU was going to be a little bit of, state travel, right? Didn't realize it was, a national thing. Thought it was more of a local thing, but just getting a chance to play against more cats. But, once I kind of got involved with it and realized that, this is, national exposure, it blew my mind, being able to travel out of the state, 2, 3, 4 times a year, get on the plane, do all that stuff. That was kind of crazy when I was younger, not ever having those types of experiences, just, with just family situation. So anyway, I used to hop on a bus, go down to North Y on Saturday mornings, for the North Y team. Started out, it was just, let's try out for the team. Let's see what happens. No expectations, and went out there and made the squad, and that's where I met my man Ira initially. We used to play on the same team. Roger Rhodes played with us on the first couple squads we played with for the first couple of years. A couple other cats from Elizabeth, cats from North, other North squads from Barrington, Shabazz. But anyway, throughout that first couple of years, I didn't know, Mr. Sweeney. He had a son that was a couple years younger than us, same age as Brevin. And once Brevin got old enough to play, they was playing, like I said, a couple years behind us, but we were all in the same thing. So his son and Brevin played on one team, me, Ira, and older cats played on a team above them, but we were all in the same gym all the time. We would go to similar tournaments just for travel logistics and stuff like that. So we support them, they support us, type of thing. So we were in the same circle. So I was in the circle with Mr. Sweeney because his kids, were a little bit younger, but played with Brevin, which we knew from East Orange and different leagues growing up, right? So just one day, one of my coaches came up to me and was like, "Hey, man, what's up? What's up with your high school situation?" happy, good. I'm happy. I'm good.
You got these stars. I'm good. Right.
I'm good. You know, Coach Griffin's taking care of me. You know, no issues. Just played varsity as a freshman. You know, things are looking up. Right. I'm good. Um, Question came out: if you had an opportunity to go to another school, you know, what school would that be? You know, I'm a freshman, right?
Yeah.
I'm good where I'm at, but honestly, if I had to pick a school, you know, my man Ira's up at Seton Hall, that would be cool. My man, you know, Wardell and Allen Watson, you know, they getting ready to go to Essex County, you know, that would be cool. My man Rogers at St. Anthony's, that would be cool.
Right.
Yeah, I got, you know, where my boys are, right? Is, you know, so then my coach was like, let me want to introduce you to somebody. And, you know, introduced me to Mr. Sweeney. And it's like, he's been watching you, quietly on the sidelines, just, a lot of cats in the gym. Ira's up at Seton Hall Prep, and my man Clarence Rab was up there at the time too. Ira's boy from the community. And he was like, you know what, there might be an opportunity for you to go there if you're interested.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I can't afford it, but I'm interested.
Mm-hmm.
And it just went from there. He was, in terms of what was he to me, growing up when I was younger, he was a mentor. He was not a coach. He never actually coached me. He was never a coach. I always referred to him as a godfather. Whenever I introduced him or referenced him to anybody who knows me, they'll say, "How's your godfather doing?"
Okay.
They'll say, "How's John doing?" Or "How's Sweeney doing?" Because that's how I referred to him, growing up. But honestly, it was mentor mentee type of relationship. And we met after Y, and he's done nothing but good things as far as my family goes, in terms of helping me with that situation and helping me go through the whole application process, the interview process, and making making that connection with me with Seton Hall. Because but for that, I'm 4 years in at East Orange.
Yeah.
One, so but for that, yeah. So for me, it was a timing thing, right? I didn't have to start taking those bus rides down to the Y and trying to play in a different environment, and not afraid to get out of my comfort zone and go play in that situation. So it was just a timing thing, as far as I always saw it, where I just happened to be at the right place at the right time, and somebody took a gamble. So
yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing that. I mean, I remember just seeing him around, a lot of, as far as again, just growing up, obviously being only a year underneath you guys, and just and different tournaments and stuff that we played and stuff like that. So I know he's very, very like influential in a lot of people's lives as far as just mentor wise or whatever. So no, that's cool, man. That's real cool.
I mean, he's a couple generations in front of us, but he grew up where we grew up.
Yes.
That was our home was his home, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the home for him. So I totally get it, but from the aspect of him looking to reach back and pull other people along in the community. Everybody doesn't see it that way. I know some people maybe feel like, we shouldn't be taking opportunities to go outside of our community. We should be, winning and being successful, where we are or where we were. But that's always the challenge, right? Is being confident enough in yourself, or being willing to take chances or take risks, right? win, lose, or fail. So for me, at the time growing up, the last thing I wanted to do was leave my situation. Like I said, I was very happy where I was, but at the same time, faced with that opportunity, I knew the best thing for me was to make that move and roll the dice and see what happens, right? So, but yes, he was the one who helped bridge that opportunity for me. So very grateful for him, very happy for it. And I think it definitely helped change my trajectory a little bit. I think I, still headed pretty much in the direction I was going. I always saw myself, going to college. I always saw myself graduating, getting into, a technical field of some sort, after, basketball and stuff was done. So, I don't think, big picture, much changed. The specific path probably changed, not the overall big picture. So.
No, definitely well said, man. And I think even back then, sounds like you knew, but some of us on the outside, I mean, faced with them situations or whatever, you made a business decision. You know what I mean? You made a business decision.
Yeah.
And I think going even to my question, let me just going to Seton Hall, man. It's not East Orange. It ain't sandwiches around the corner. It's Northfield Ave. I think it's Northfield Ave. Yeah. So I mean, how was that, man? All boys. You ain't looking at no shorties, nothing, no more during the day. Like, how was that transition for you, man?
Hey, those are all the conversations I had with myself. Right? Because this conversation happened. The initial conversation about it even being a possibility, it happened during the travel season. So we was, late spring, early summer. So I had a lot of time to kind of, think about the possibilities, and all of those things went through my head. Do I leave this situation? Do I start taking the bus to school every day? Because that's kind of what was in front of me. Like you said, no girls. Change in demographics. Crazy.
That the curriculum, I mean, yeah.
So there was a lot, and so for being 14, 15, so you making a life-changing decision at that age, it was crazy. And at the time, I lived up on Harrison, so I used to have to walk out to Central Ave, right there on the corner, and hop on a bus and make it happen. But that's exactly what I did. After mulling over it and belly aching over it, and just realizing that at the end of the day, it's a business decision, and I can't not take it, even if things don't go well. At least I gave it a shot.
Right.
And honestly, right out of the gate, first year, things didn't go well. Just the transition of it. Getting over the fact that stop daydreaming about East Orange because you're not there. You know what I'm saying? It took some time for me to adjust as a kid. And then just other stuff that happened outside of school and community. Just dealing with police and all the other crap that we got to do. I had an incident with the police one time my sophomore year. So just the normal typical stuff that any kid, unfortunately today, would probably go through.
Yes.
If they go to that type of situation where they're one out of few, and you're coming from what looks like the outside in, just the same stuff that we all have to deal with. So but all the school and the staff and the students and the overall experience, I was accepted day one. I was absorbed day one. I felt like I was appreciated and seen. So at the end of the day, it was definitely a good experience. I would say it was probably more the outside community took them longer, to get at love, but internally within the school, absolutely, it was there from day one. So I never felt like, I didn't deserve to be there, or the people that were part of the school and the school community didn't want me there.
Mm.
That was never the case. Through all the incidents or issues, or maybe not getting the best grades I should have been getting, right out of the gate, trying to make that adjustment. But once I did and got into a rhythm and got comfortable in my own skin being
Right.
there, then that thing flips, right? And it becomes your confidence, the fact that you are there and you're not going anywhere, and you're going to prove everybody wrong who thinks, you can't be successful there or can't make it through. It became, a part of that superpower for me. And it kind of manifested itself over time. So we got to the point where, we felt like, well, everybody that hates on us, we're going to beat them by 20 or 30, or saying, I'm going to continue to matriculate and get out of here with a degree, right?
Yeah.
It becomes that power. So it ended up being a cool experience, and I wouldn't change it. Other than the girls, I wouldn't change it for nothing in the world.
Nah, definitely, man. And just looking back, it's kind of like when we sometimes reflect or what have you, man, just think about those life skills you didn't know you were getting back then that you look at it now, man, just everything in that whole little year or so time, as far as switching schools, having to deal with probably your boys. Like, I don't know if you caught any flack for bouncing on them.
I'm still catching flack,
Mm-hmm.
but it's all good because just like then, the cats that were boys are my boys today.
That's right.
I grew up with. If I called them, they come today. So as much as they gave me slack and in the moment of court feelings, they also blessed me, supported me, continued to come to my games and cheer for me as long as I wasn't playing East Orange. Hop on the bus and come up to games every week.
Yeah.
So the love was always there. The support was always there. The understanding was always there. So I got no complaints, man. My boys, definitely held it down for me and made me feel like I was doing the right thing, even though they didn't like it.
Nah, definitely, man. So you get there, even hoops wise, sophomore year, you scratching the surface varsity and EO, you get over to Seton Hall, it's a little different. I mean, you had to earn your way a little bit.
Yeah, which I expected, but the good thing is, Coach Farrell, just like Griff, right out of the gate was like, look, you're gonna play varsity. How much you're gonna play varsity? That's a different story. But the respect was there from Coach Farrell from day one. It was a situation where it was like, look, you're good enough to play. Are you ready to play? Is a story. And just like Griff, Coach Farrell held my feet to the fire. If I didn't show it academically, if I didn't with just my mannerisms on the court, if I didn't show with my maturity, he sat me down, made me wait, play somebody in front of me. And I get it. It was at the time, it's frustrating, but it's to make sure that desire is there, make sure you're just not giving anything, to make sure the fire is there. So yeah, I sat early. I didn't start as a sophomore, and then I was in and out even as a junior.
Yeah.
For that same reason. If he was expecting me to be, at a 8 or a 9, and I'm at a 5 or a 6, only way to get you an 8 or a 9 is to tell you you're ready yet. Go sit down. Go play somebody. So you're not gonna start. You come late. You might not play the first half. So the maturity stuff, I had to work on. And the confidence stuff I had to work on. If you open and you don't shoot, I don't need you on the floor. You got to come out of the game. Yeah. So being able to knock down jump shots and dribble the basketball and do stuff that, away from the basket that, weren't for me natural things, because I, never really played primary point guard growing up. But that's the kind of stuff that, he wanted me to be able to do. And it took me some time to get comfortable, being in those different situations, and rightfully so. Because as a coach, I do it, I do it with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I challenge them and I push them. And once you get to point A, then we're going to talk about point B. Once you get to point B, we're going to talk about point C. We're going to keep moving. And so, so my sophomore year was a little slow start, but I definitely played the whole time. I developed, I got more minutes. I became a bigger part of the process, but didn't start out that way, which is all good, man.
How'd you work on your game? What did you do? You mentioned, having to handle the rock, get a jumper, everything else. Summertime and before practice, what was you doing?
So my backyard was Washington Park.
Okay.
So for me, in the off season, once there was no snow, for me, off season is when there's no snow on the court. So once there's no snow on the court, Saturday mornings, man, Sunday mornings, that's where I was. And I go early on purpose before cats got up and got on the court. So I had access to the full court. And so I would dribbling drills, back and forth, baseline to baseline, pull up jumpers, off the glass, just, playing the game in my head by myself, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Left hand only. I would, all day long and just, the whole hour and a half, only dribbling with my left hand, only dribbling. And then when I got into a game situation, force myself to only go left in the game until I got comfortable, right? Everything I worked on, I would, when I got in the game, it was like, I'm going to try this move. I'm going to try this in and out, try this left hand. I'm going to try, and so for me, it was always self-taught. We didn't grow up having no trainers,
right,
we didn't,
right.
But coaches was like, hey, look, I got 2 hours. No, you learn from your coaches in practice. If you didn't learn in practice, then you did it on your own, or you didn't do it, right? Mm-hmm. Wasn't no, I'm gonna go call a trainer and work out for 2 hours.
Right,
no.
Right.
But get a bowl of cereal and get out to the courts. You didn't work out. You didn't get better. So that's what I used to do, man. It's funny today. I still, go out in the yard and shoot hoops. And the first thing I come to Washington Park, Saturday, Sunday mornings before cats get out there, putting up some shots.
That's right.
Right. And that's assuming there was some rims up, because back in the day,
you never knew. Yeah, you never knew.
Rims that slide in and out. You go out there, some days ain't no rims out there. You gotta wait, you gotta go run by a cat's crib, like, yo, let me borrow your rim. I'll bring it back. If not, we'll leave it up. We'll meet back up at 1. Sports, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Real talk, man. So that's what it was. Used to climb up the side of the hoop and slide the rim down. Boom. Game time.
Nah, definitely, man. And I know as things start to go your way here, man, the whole transition junior to senior year, man, like I know I obviously talking to Ira and Wardell and them, but just actually the same thing. Like, how magical was that run, man? That senior year.
I'm gonna be honest. We Coach Farrell gave us a hard way to go. That first few weeks of the season. I think we started with like a Christmas tournament. We generally played in like the Hillside.
The Hillside one, yeah.
Hillside with Linden and maybe Union Catholic, couple different schools. From that side of town, and those first couple scrimmages, he was like, "You cats, man, I don't see it. I don't see it. Y'all not gonna win too many games. And y'all definitely not gonna win this Christmas tournament coming up, right? Right out of the gate, he was on us, because we didn't look sharp enough. We didn't look like we was ready. We didn't look right, for whatever reason. And so I'll never forget that how he used to, not nitpick, but figure out how to get you motivated or get you to that next level or push you. And he did it individually. He did it as a team, but he also individually challenged me. He challenged us to be whatever the best versions of ourselves were. So, going into that season, we felt like we were good. The other thing, we felt like was, well, we know all these cats, right?
Yes.
I've been playing with these cats since little lads or earlier. And so, that kind of helps in the whole process of when you get ready to play somebody, how you internalize, one cat versus another, right? So if you don't know somebody, if you just read in their bio, there's a lot of scary cats in Essex County. Like we ain't had no cakewalks.
Right.
Everybody played had somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But I think part of it for us was, we playing our boys, right?
Yes.
So the mystery's not there. It's just another day in the park. It's just another day in the gym for us. And I think so, we were always relaxed, never really nervous, confident. And then once we started winning, once we, got into that tournament, and got a win under our belt, and then got another win under our belt, then got to the championship and put that first one away, it was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
we winning, we good, right? Not looking to the future, but in that moment, like, we played some solid competition, and we played against Wiley Dixon. We like, okay, we can get out here with a win. So once it starts happening, you just living in the moment, and that's really big. We play a game at a time. We now come practice time, we probably had bigger fights and bigger arguments and scrap practice, because we would split up. Like when I'm in practice, when I was younger, especially, I never wanted to play with the starting five. Don't if I'm on the starting five, don't we playing, we scrimmage and we going through plays. Put me on a different team. I want to play against these cats. I don't want to play with them. You're not making me better in practice if I'm with the guys I start with. Yeah, don't do that. I want to play against these cats. You know what I'm saying? So in practice, that's kind of how we work.
Okay.
We going head up. We going head up. We gonna play. I don't really give a shit. We got the same uniform color on.
That's right. That's right.
Man, that's the way we grew up, man. You got to get off the court, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every possession mattered. So I think that also helped us playing against each other every day. Like you gotta let it look. You can't play around Brevin and can't deal with a basketball.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Wardell don't just foul you; he fouls you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just that situation, and so somebody block a shot and talking trash, you're gonna come up, you're gonna figure out how to score on. You know what I'm saying? If I can score on Ira, if I can score on Wardell, if I can dribble past Brad, who else in the county, who else in the state, going to be able to stop me from scoring? And that's just I think was the evolution as the season went on, as we spent more time together, as we played more against each other. That pot was just cooking.
Mm-hmm.
We kept getting better and kept getting confident as the process went on, to the point where it was just like, halftime of most games, we up 10, 15, 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
Game is over. Like we're not even talking about a game anymore. It's just like how much we're gonna win by.
Yeah.
Right. And for us, it was like get your foot on somebody's neck. And we were like pressing. Put them to sleep.
That's right. Yeah, you don't let up. Yeah, you don't let now. Even getting to the counties that year, obviously coming up short the year before. So I know some unfinished business I had to take care of.
Absolutely. Because I think we felt like the year before, even though the chemistry was a little bit different with the team, the confidence was there. And the way we practiced the year prior was really no different. I just think, that core group of guys, we just got better. We were a better version of ourselves. So when we got to the counties, by that point, we're like, look, all we have to do is play our brand of basketball, right? Because whatever we were doing, it was working to that point. And I just felt like for us, it was kind of rinse and repeat. Our defense really didn't change that much. The offense we ran didn't change one drop, but we ran the offense. One of the things, that was drilled into us was the discipline part of it. If you set a screen, set the screen, make the next guy's job easier. And so for us, we ran the same offense. We ran a basic flex offense was our primary offense. It's slightly complicated to learn.
But them back picks, man.
Back doors all day, you know, and and then after that, it's just the little stuff, right? When you got a kid like Brad who can pick a pocket in the middle of the floor and get an easy bucket, that's a confidence killer, right? I can come down and score on anybody at any moment. So it's just the little things, that we also did, the extra rebounding, getting out on fast breaks, scoring quick buckets. And then again, like I said, when we ran our offense, when we had to slow it down and run our offense, we scored on a regular basis just because, we did it right. And we did it over and over. There's a lot to be said about keeping it simple. And that's all we were doing. We didn't do anything special. I felt like we did the same thing every night to just a different group of cats every night. I never felt like we were overly game planning, for one cat versus another. We respected everybody we played. We absolutely, scouted and went through the Carla Waltons and Alan Watsons. We went through that. Tariq Goodman, we know who those cats were. We know what they did. But from our side of it, we did what we did what we knew, was successful, and that was run our stuff and run it right. Which is funny because that's kind of the stuff I preach to my kids today. Yeah. If we can master what we're supposed to be doing, you're gonna beat most cats. Right?
Definitely.
It's not the talent, right? Everybody can shoot, everybody can score, everybody can dribble. Can you execute? Can you be disciplined? And if I took nothing else from Coach Farrell in that experience, it was that, because the proof was in the pudding.
Yeah. Now, winning the counties, by this time, it's a collision course. It's just, you have the tournament champions. We know what's going on. We know who's 1-2 in the state. We know this got to go down somehow, man. So I know you said one game at a time, but you're human. You hear everything. You got people around, man. Just thinking back then, man, like this was supposed to happen. You guys in St. Anthony's.
Well, hey, man, that wasn't no easy road, bro. That was no easy road, right? I mean, who do we play? We played North Tech. We played Elizabeth to earn that.
Right, because they won the year before, I think. Elizabeth won the whole thing before.
Hey, look, that's not an easy road. That's not a gimme. Can't remember, but we were probably favorites over North Tech, but I'm pretty convinced we wasn't favorites over Elizabeth.
Okay.
And I can't remember even, with Scott in Essex County tournament. I can't remember. We might not have been favorites then because, so was the Scott and Shabazz the year before?
I think so.
So yeah. So, in my recollection, we might not even been the favorites.
Okay.
So yeah, so that was definitely not an easy road. Playing, North Tech and then playing Elizabeth. And then I think we gave up, we left them with a 20-piece. Think about, right? So, a lot of people wasn't happy about that. The whole County wasn't happy about that. I don't think anybody saw that coming. But to your point about that collision course, like I said, when I started playing at the Y, Ira and Raj were my boys, my two best friends from that experience. And so, our families knew each other. My mom's and Ira's mom was cool. Roger's brother was like a big brother to me. Growing up and through high school, always checking up on me, always looking out for me. So for us, that was a family affair. Something that, if I was ever nervous in a game, that was the game.
Yeah.
Because that was the first time when you kind of looking at a reflection in the mirror, like you got to fight yourself. And I don't know that I felt like that any other game prior to that one, where these cats are capable of beating you if you don't bring it. And so for me, I know that was my only concern. Are we going to be the team that we've been, or are we going to do something different? And I felt like at the end of the day, once that ball was tipped, we never played our brand of basketball. I felt like, for whatever reason, I don't know, good coaching on their side, the confidence of being on that stage more often than we had, looking back, right? In hindsight, hell of a game, but we just could not get on the same page with them cats. And kudos, man. I mean, at the time, Raj might have been number 1, number 2 in his class.
Right.
Danny might have already been committed to Seton Hall. And Womack, another cat that was.
That's right, Jermaine, yeah.
Right, Jermaine. So, they rightfully so, mad respect, them cats, I think they beat us by 16, probably was beating us pretty much the whole game. So we sniffed them a couple times, but, we never made a game out of it like we should have. But I wouldn't change the experience for anything in the world, because, not everybody gets to experience that. And apparently nobody will ever be able to experience that ever again, because they shut down the TSC. So
yeah. Now y'all played at the Middlelands. Was it at the Middlelands y'all played?
we were still doing Rutgers back then.
It was the rack. It was still okay.
Whole TFC was at Rutgers that year.
Okay.
They switched over to the Meadowlands. I think I don't know if it was Brev or Brandon. They may have played at the Meadowlands a couple. That 91 was at Rutgers.
Okay. Now, I don't know. Need you to confirm this. I know Strick said y'all was partying with them, I think a day or two before the game.
I have memory, man. It was that dude got a bad memory. Yeah, that's my man. But no, it was the night after. I'm sorry, not the night after. That night after the tournament.
Okay.
We hung out because, again, we was
your people, yeah.
The game was over, right? But no, Wardell got another story about what he did. Count that, but we did hang out after, and on the strength of them winning, we was out in Jersey City celebrating with Raj and Danny and those cats. Raj's brother at his crib, on the strength of them winning, right? Which that knife would have cut either way.
Yes.
Because we was boys first, real talk. So, but it is what it is, man. It's a part of the story. It's a part of my life. And the crazy thing is, around here in my crib, I was the man until, the last 2 years where my youngest son now, they just won back to back. Back state championships. So, I got to take my crown off and go on, because this young fella just kind of trumped me 2 times over. So
it's all good though. Yeah. But what's interesting, all that work paid off, man, as far as even getting some accolades your way, man. And I know the all states and all Americans and all that stuff is great, man. But to be one of the five best in your county, man, especially where we from, man, that says something.
That was a tough list, man. All guards, right? So Carlo, Keith, myself, Ira, who am I missing? Tariq. I mean, and the crazy thing is, there's a bunch of other cats you could probably throw that list. That year, that list is probably 10 deep. I think could have went anyway. Somebody else, wins, somebody else beats us, knocks us off a little earlier. We don't win the county. Who knows? That list changes, right? We don't go as far as we do in the tournament of champions because the talent was just there. So I'm grateful for it. It's just one of those things where it felt good to be acknowledged. It felt good to be recognized. Like I said, with that class of cats, I'm just happy to be in the conversation, right? Because it was a fun time, but since we was young tights, these are the cats that we made each other better, right? We saw each other coming. So it's just, to me, from my perspective, it's respect all across the board for all the cats.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And I know even early on, just chopping it up with you now, you had a plan, college and everything else. How was that whole process for you? Like, ultimately, you stayed in state. Did you ever think about leaving Jersey at all?
Definitely. There's a couple schools, Shippensburg, Boston University, just, smaller, no big mid majors or anything like that. But basketball for me, once I got out of high school, I wanted to play in college, but I also wanted to get into engineering and telecommunications and stuff like that, and that comes with challenges. Me personally, I had to work. I didn't get full right out. Playing in NJAC in New Jersey, that's Division III. So you got to make your way.
Yes.
Nothing's given to you. There's no scholarships. You get grants and stuff like that for academics, but you got to make your way. So for me, working and being a student and just having an opportunity to play basketball at the next level, was enough and had to be enough. But again, I got an opportunity to continue my basketball career. I got an opportunity to, get an education. We did pretty well, over those years. Not to the level of a grade grant.
Yeah.
Right, but that carrot was out there. So
yes.
One of the reasons that I even went that route was because of grade. Showing the rest of the league that, hey, look, you know what, it's possible.
That's right.
You play your cards right, you do what you're supposed to do. It's possible to make it from that conference in New Jersey, because it was one of the most competitive in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So I had all of that kind of drive and motivation when I decided, Trenton State was where I was going to go. When my man Rodney Bruton was down there, he graduated from East Orange, and so he kind of helped me in that situation in terms of picking that school. Mr. Sweeney as well. He worked with me over that spring, my senior year with that transition, and also selecting that school. So, and I'm very happy with it. Very happy with my choice. Very happy with the school. Now, ultimately, like I said, I went to DeVry, went to Keller, did other stuff, on the technical side of it. Once basketball was done, but I always saw myself being in the industry, being in telecommunications, being in engineering, as a part of my long-term goals. And so the part of the reason I picked that school was for their engineering program. So basketball player, I was a student, I worked, I made it all work as best I could.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Let me
20. A lot of challenges just staying on that track when you got so many other things that can easily throw you off. So it was what it was, bro.
Let me ask about the whole technology thing and engineering and all this. I mean, us being the Oranges, East Oranges, and North, I mean, we talk about technology back then. We talking Sega Genesis, man. So, so what was your interest? That's my question. Like, what was your interest even at a young age with all that?
Honestly, I was always a tinkerer, tearing shit apart, don't let the radio break or one of the speakers pop. I'm all in it,
Okay.
right? Unscrewing stuff, and the television ain't working. I'm gonna build an antenna so we can watch the game clear. So I was always messing around with stuff, just growing up in general. But my older brother, he went into the service and he kind of got into electrical engineering. Um, he used to work for like Rico and a couple other, back in the day, equipment manufacturers. And so, looking up to Big Bro, uh, the electronic thing kind of sparked my interest just because I was already, always tinkering and stuff on the side. So that's kind of where the connection came from. Combination of having then just my own interests outside of sports. And then obviously the obvious one is, where can I make some money?
Yeah.
How can I get out of this situation and kind of not look back? So for me, that was always, the big master plan was just figure out how to do something, to be fairly successful, to kind of maintain, and just live a decent life. I'm a billionaire, but to get out of my situation, so which I can't imagine that one cat, at some point in their life, when those high school years or right out of high school years, haven't had that same conversation, right? At some point, right? You get to that point where it's like, okay, I'm not a kid anymore.
That's right.
Let's start figuring out some real life decisions. So, and that's what it was for me. That was, getting into engineering and technology was a thing for me. So,
Nah, and it's definitely worked out. And you talked about taking that leap of faith, just in regards whether the career or just packing up and moving to a totally different environment. Like, what would you just say to anybody that just is contemplating that, man? Like, I mean, it sounds like you just did it and you adjust as you went.
So yeah, I'm not an overly emotional cat. So for me, it was circumstance.
Okay.
My wife felt like, what, we can do better somewhere else. I felt like, financially and everything going on, cost of living, we can do better somewhere else. I always saw myself at some point transitioning out of New Jersey. Didn't have a real good timetable, but once we had kids, when we're looking at their future and looking at their opportunities and their possibilities, all of that combined kind of helped us decide that it was the right move for us. And what I would say to anybody is, you only get one life.
That's right.
You don't want regrets. If you feel like it's something that can benefit you, make you happy, make you more successful, make you more comfortable in your own skin, try it. If it don't work, at least you can go to bed at night saying, you did it and didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But, there was the anxiety in the moment. But once we touched down and we got settled and we got everything unpacked and we got here, and we sat back, we were extremely happy. And when we go back to New Jersey, we go all the time. Absolutely love it. We were just there last weekend. Beautiful place to visit. I love every second I'm there, but this is home. So,
yes. But
it took that leap of faith. You got to trust. Got to trust. Whatever the decision is, go through it. Mm-hmm. If you don't, hit the reverse button. Right? Do something different. Go in a different direction. But now you have that knowledge and experience to help make that next decision. Sit back and not make decisions afraid of what the results are. Take those results and use them as knowledge for the next step, I would say. So go ahead and jump off those bridges, man. You only get one life. Gotta enjoy it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Can I put you on the spot a little bit, man? Because I know how you've been gracious with your time here on the.
I'm here, man. I'm here. If I wasn't here, you couldn't put me on the spot. I'm here.
All right. Now we're gonna roll with it, man. So you mentioned being in Jersey just recently. Parkway to Turnpike.
You talking about preference?
Preference, yes.
I'm a Parkway guy, man. I mean, if I'm traveling, Turnpike, and I don't like stopping. But Parkway feels like home. Turnpike is on my way home.
Okay. Being
So,
East Orange guy. Central Ave or Main Street?
Central Ave, that's easy. Central Ave. I'm on. I predominantly raised on that side, man. I don't get me wrong. I love Main Street, but Central Ave.
All right. White Castles or sandwiches?
Because I'm more health conscious now, I'm gonna say sandwiches. Yeah, I'm a little bit more health conscious now. I can get a little bit more healthy meal at sandwiches if I try.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you already gonna try that? Yeah.
Yeah. I can get an all veggie or something. You know what I'm saying? I can make it work. I can't do that at White Castles.
All right.
Now, hang out White Castles on Saturday.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's where I'm at. So,
speaking of which, block party or the club?
Man. Back in the day, I was a club cat. I used to tear the clubs up, man. So it's clubs all the way.
Sound like since you're on that Central Ave side of things, you make a little left turn to Evergreen. Sound like you've been at 88 once or twice.
Couple times. I've been through that. I know where to find it. I know where to So, but once I went to school, we used to come up on the weekends, man. I used to take that ride up. My boys at school, cats from Trenton and Philly and around South Jersey. Yeah, they wanted to come up the way. They come up the way and party, and I'd oblige them every time. That's what I want to get on the turnpike and come that way every time, bro.
Most definitely, man. TV wise, man, Power or Snowfall?
Power.
Which one you like out of the Powers?
I'm rocking through all the series, man. I think they did a hell of a job with that. Just the whole presentation and how they broken up all the different stories and taking you back and moving you forward. I like the creativity. I like the way that it's something coming from us.
Yes.
Unique. And they're telling unique stories. And so for me, anything in that genre that is presented the way they presenting it, I'm all for, right? And, anything that my kids watch that I watch, I think somebody did a good job to be able to bridge gaps between generations like that. So
most definitely.
Snowfall. I ain't no hater of Snowfall either. But that's the one that we watch predominantly. So, but yeah, that's what we do around here.
All right. The double back real quick here. Action Park or Great Adventure?
Great Adventures all day, dude. They got a whole bunch of my money and memories. So definitely great.
Now to keep that Jersey pass intact, what exit is that off the turnpike?
Wow. 8A, baby.
Close, 7A.
7A?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm up a little bit. You right, 7.
Nah,
hey, look, I moved out in 2008. That was pretty cool. Now, here's the thing. I'm from New Jersey. I can get there from 8A, but you're right. It's not the main one.
Senior Hall Prep or Trenton State?
See, I met my wife at Trenton State. She might be listening, so I gotta say Trenton State.
Nah, smart man.
It's all good.
But Coach Farrell, what do you mean to you?
Foundation. Honestly, I think a lot of what I learned from him, I repeat as a coach and a mentor to other kids. So I would say, he's a part of my foundation, and also challenged me, to be better at different things, not just basketball, just in life. So yeah, definitely a part of my foundation.
No, most definitely. Remember the first time you dunked?
No doubt. I was in the 8th grade at VLD. 8th grade at VLD. At it was either lunchtime or gym time. We out clowning everybody trying to test their vertical. For me, that was the first time. Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
Speaking of Duncan, you got any posters that you just remember that might just give you a quick chill? Like I called him out.
Um, I got a couple. I know my wife made me an album back in the day. I got some pictures I pull out for the boys every once in a while, you know, just to reminisce. But I would say, you know, I caught, I know in the county tournament, I think we was playing Irvington. I think I got a steal and caught a body, went through somebody's arm. I'm trying to remember who it was.
It was a Donald or a Kenyon, none of them.
Trying to remember.
Okay.
I can't remember off the top of my head. And then also in the Hillside tournament, I know I caught a body in that one, and so those was two of my favorites just because, you know, the gravity of the moment, right? You catch one in the county tournament, you catch one in the Christmas tournament, you know, gym full of cats, you know, cats fall out of the stands, right?
Oh yeah.
So those are the ones, you know, that definitely, you know, I remember just because the gravity of the moment.
Best game you ever played in your life on any level?
Oh man, that's a good one. I would probably say, um, in college we played. We were playing Jersey City. It might have been the second time we saw them for the season, but we were playing them in Trenton. You know, they had my man Omar Cooper. Ad was playing with them at the time. Raymond Carson, a couple other cats, just that you know that I knew growing up, and it was to take over the number one spot in the NJAC, going into the playoffs, and you know, so for us it was a grudge match game. They were, you know, we were back and forth, 1-2 us, and then Rowan used to be Glassboro back in the day. You know, best teams in the conference. And so for me, like I said, anytime I'm playing against my boys, it's different, right? It becomes a part game for me. And so I probably had like 25, 26, and it just felt like every time I touched the ball, a shot went up and it went in. You know, and at that point I was shooting. So I was knocking down threes, I was dunking, I was getting balls in the post. You know, it just felt like no matter what I did, it went down. And it was a home game, and it was a, you know, full gym, and it was a meaningful game. So for me, I would say that's probably one of my best games ever, just from the standpoint of, you know, you got that feeling like everything you shoot's gonna go in, everything good decision, right? So yeah, so that was probably a big one for me.
Let me ask, and I forgot as you brought it up earlier, because being at Senior Hall Prep, y'all was the Iron Hill, so y'all played East Orange. So how was it playing them? I mean, just keeping you're cool Madden anyway, but you're playing your boys. How'd you keep it on the wraps playing them?
Yeah, that's, you know, that was always tricky. You know, because we used to, after school, you know, we run down to Scott, we run down to East Orange and hang out with those cats. We used to always get out a little bit earlier. You know, so when that end of the day happened, we was down there chilling. You know, and we were down out. We were down there kicking it with our boys, and you know, talking to the ladies and stuff. Doing, you know, so for us, there was always that community. We went to all the schools and hung out. But that whole dynamic playing in Iron Hills, you know, every other school was a public school, right? So for us, that's all we knew, right? We only saw private schools in the state tournament for those few rounds. So for us, it was always a public school schedule. It's just the way, you know, way things were. So we were always conditioned that, you know, you're gonna see a public school. But East Orange specifically for me, those were always the games where, you know, my family came out, you know, because I had, you know, one of my cousins played for East Orange, and you know, just that connection. So it was always a big game. It was always a big moment. And so I always cherished those games. I probably weren't my best games because I was probably too busy looking, you know what I'm saying, and enjoying the moment and not really focused like I normally am. Because normally, you know, I don't smile, I don't say nothing, I don't do nothing. You know, I just play. Ask me no questions. Don't talk to me before. I'm not playing before. I'm not, you know, I'm not dapping you up. You know, I could come down 2 hours before the game and we can kick it. When I go back and then I come back and you see me in the line, in the layup line, I'm a different cat. I'm all the way locked in. I didn't like playing around before games. You know, you know, I go nose to nose with my own teammates. Like, yo, don't talk to me. Don't play with me. I'm you know, trying to get locked in. So yeah, so those were always fun games. But I took every game serious. So you know, I didn't have fun until the game was over.
Yeah. Oh, got you.
You know, coaches used to hate it because they like, you don't ever talk. I'm like, I'm busy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm busy. But that's just the way I was. So it's all good though.
Nah, I think I know the answer to this, but maybe I'm wrong. Best team you ever been on?
Well, yeah, that's undeniable, man. Playing with them cats, you know, after, you know, seeing what they've been able to accomplish, and you know, Mark and I, Wardell, Ira, and all those guys, Brevin, you know, goes without saying. That was, you know, an unbelievable run, and I don't think any of us saw it coming. But once we were in the moment, we enjoyed every second of it. We this company, we enjoyed the moment, and you know, we definitely appreciated it when it was all said and done. So yeah, so that's hands down. It's an easy call. Beating Hall Prep, 90-91.
Best team in school history?
Well, you know, Brad and Wardell came back and made some noise. Brandon and them cats came back and made some noise. I mean, so many young cats behind us. What I will say is we probably, if nothing else, you know, we created a roadmap or set a tone or made it possible for kids to feel like, you know, that's a legitimate destination that maybe in the past, you know, would have not even jumped off that bridge, you know, go there. I think for a little while, for a stretch there, I think kids, you know, saw Seton Hall as a serious basketball program. And if nothing else, I think we established that if we didn't do anything else. So are we the best? Yet to be seen. Are we a benchmark? I would say definitely. You know,
well said.
That you know, that others ultimately kind of drove to higher heights. You know, we've had better teams than ours. We got teams that have won. So, you know, kudos to them.
Speaking of which, what's you being alumni, your Seton Hall Prep all time starting five. It could be positionless.
Man, so you know, so before me, you know, Franz Volsey was there, right?
I'm about to say, yeah.
That's my guy. You know, Mike Shannon, man, that was my guy. He was a tough player.
Yeah, he's tough.
But you know, you can't have Mike and no Brevin. So both of those cats. And then obviously, you know, Ira, you know, has to be there. So, and then after that, you got to have me.
Absolutely. Why not?
You got to have a guy there that can get his own rebound and put a shot back. Got all those shooters and, you know, all the Cadillacs. You know what I'm saying? You need that dump trunk in the middle that's going to block all the shots, get all the rebounds, kick it back outside so they can shoot another shot. You know? So that was always my job. But hey, look, it got me double digits, double. So whatever, man. You know, do what you do, right?
That's right. And your time back then, or you could even say after the fact, man, who best high school basketball play you ever seen?
That's a tough one. Now we talking locally or we talking just in general?
You know what? We'll go local.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. Who was I a fan of, and who I modeled my training after? Mike Boyd. And here's what's crazy. My son is outside. If he isn't already, he will be running stairs. And the reason he's running stairs is because of Mike Boyd, not because of me.
Wow. He got a weight vest on too?
And he got a weight vest on. But that's something that when I was in the 7th and 8th grade, that I learned from him. And it was something that I carried through my career. And when Brad sees this, he's probably gonna crack up because that was one of the things before practice we used to make our boys do. So we don't start in the gym. We're gonna start out here in the hallway, get on these stairs and work on our footwork, our speed, our agility, our explosion. And then we're gonna come practice. So so for me, Mike Boyd's on that list. But just for the pure work ethic and come from where he came from to get where he's where he got, it's pretty cool to see real time and see his work pay off on Saturday afternoons. That was cool to see. So
let me ask you, speaking of Mike and the weight vest, you had the strength shoes too?
Oh, I don't have those now, but back in the day,
I'm talking about back when. Yeah.
I got those absolutely. So that definitely made a difference. That was one of the things that gave me an edge. Those things for real worked, right? They for real worked. So I haven't seen them in years. I'm sure they probably still selling them. They absolutely work because I could dead standing still jump, punch it down off a vertical with no momentum, and that wasn't by accident. I mean, that wasn't all natural. But I also did stuff of my own. Like I said, I ran stairs. I did my fair share of calf raises and squats and power jumps and all that other stuff too. I did my thing. But D-Rock could jump higher than I did. He was shorter than I was, and there was that I could do that he couldn't do, and I had a couple inches on him. Well, so for what it's worth, I wasn't the highest jumping cat, in the area. I was up there, but I wasn't the highest.
Somebody who should have made it, however you define made it.
That list is so long, bro. It's crazy. That list is so long. Like I just mentioned, my man Dennis D-Rock. I think absolutely an amazing player. I mentioned them earlier. Alan Watson, amazing player. But there's just so many, man. The list is it's just too long, bro.
I hear you.
And then when you look, when you look at a cat like Brevin, it really brings it home that some of us, it's just maybe an opportunity here, an opportunity there. Right place, right time. Just maybe getting another break. There's so many cats that kind of, in my opinion anyway, that probably, given the right opportunity would have been extremely successful. And that's not to take anything away from anybody, who has made it, because none of that's easy.
Right.
Getting to those levels where you're playing high division one, mid-major, playing professional, in the States, overseas, for any period of time. Any of that stuff, man, is it's a tough road. And honestly, for me, it was something I constantly said I'm just not even going to, waste the 2, 3, 4, 5 years it would take for me to get to that point. Once I got out of college, I was just like, I'm going to use my time differently. But God bless any of those cats that kept pushing, trying to figure out a way in and trying to figure out a way to make a living. But I consciously shut it down and did something different. But there's so many cats that, I would have loved to see play at the next level and beyond.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. What's best part about being Walt Morton?
Nowadays it's family. That's my priority. Being a dad and being a husband, helping my kids kind of navigate to the point where I can just be hands off and watch them making decisions, making good decisions. You know, I try not to say right decisions, you know, because I'm still evolving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I think is right for you may not be right for you. So as a parent, being able to take your hands off the steering wheel and watching your kids, good decisions. So at this moment in my life, that's the best thing. And then just being, God willing, and staying healthy.
Yes.
You know, being and staying healthy, because you know that's a everyday blessing.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You know, to make sure you still got it. You gotta make sure you're good and you're getting up and everything's working.
Mm-hmm.
So just being healthy, man, and you know, being able to take care of my family.
Yeah. And obviously, I know you have a bunch of these, but what's 3 of your best moments in your life up to this point?
It's a good question. Definitely being able to say that I'm from Essex County, from East Orange specifically, and still sitting here today fighting. Getting married, definitely. Got a beautiful, intelligent wife. She's from Perth Amboy. We met. So she's been around.
Which I'm at the movie theater out there, man.
Not too far, around the corner. I'm not going to the movie theater. We probably crossed paths in there a few times.
Okay.
You know, either there or was at Brazzers right next door. I was like, probably paths, but back then I was running and gunning. But yeah, that's number 2. And then just being a dad, man.
Yeah.
That was always, on my bucket list. So having an opportunity to do that. So definitely.
Book on your life, what would you call it?
That's a hell of a question. Oh man. Shit, life. Life. We got one, and it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
Man. I can't even put a description on it, man. Just life, right? Because every day is a challenge, but every day is a blessing. So,
most definitely. And at this point in your life, this walk here, knocking on 5-0, not too far.
Right there.
What would this walk tell that 17, 18-year-old senior walk? What advice would you give him?
Man, just keep your head up. Keep your head up. 17 to now, there's been a lot, but I will honestly say way more good than bad, way more love than hate. And other than being, hitting the lottery, I wouldn't change a thing.
That's right.
I wouldn't change a thing, man. Honestly, I think I'm where I'm supposed to be, and I have what I'm supposed to have. I don't think I have any more, and I don't want any more. Just keep your head up, keep pushing, don't give up. That's it.
What mom say about you now?
Well, I just talked to her for almost 2 hours yesterday.
Yeah.
We don't talk every day. We got a cadence, but when we talk, it's more, I sit back and I listen. Way it's always been. I would hope she says that she's proud.
Yeah.
She's proud. If she can say that word, I'm good. I don't need anything.
I hear you, man. I hear you. And lastly, what's on deck for you, man? I know we golfing. What else? Anything else?
Honestly, I still study, doing stuff for school. I'm getting like a network certification that I'm working on, and so I still still working on education a little bit. Just continue to develop that mind.
Yes.
Because when you turn 40, you didn't think 40 was that old. You thought 40 was old till you turned 40, and now I'm working on 50. So I like to believe 50 ain't that old. I'm going to keep trying to challenge myself in different ways. like I said, with the whole golf thing, to me that's like my passion in terms of something that creates competition.
Mhm.
You know, for me, creates a challenge for me to kind of work on getting that single handicap number. Um, my boys are still pretty young, so they got a ways to go. So continuing to pour energy into them and love into them and kind of helping them kind of shape themselves through the next few years. Um, you know, uh, get out of this crib, now that we starting to get a little empty nester and do a little bit more traveling with
Okay.
wife, is on the agenda. And then just trying to get out and see my family because my family's scattered all over the country.
Okay.
So, getting out, getting on the road and going to visit a little bit more now that my boys are older and their schedules aren't necessarily our schedules as much. Just getting out and reconnecting because, we spent so much time and energy raising, our boys that we kind of neglected a lot of, our other family obligations and other family stuff just because, travel basketball in the spring and in the summer with two different kids going in two different directions, because of their ages. Every summer, it kind of limits your access. So, just reconnecting across the board with my family. And that's pretty much it. I'm a simple cat, man.
Hmm.
Don't take much to make me happy. So, but like I said, I'm in a good place. And we'll work on getting our boys through high school and through college, and then I'll really be able to kick back
Okay.
and own schedule for real.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Nah, that's good money, man. Walt, you just for me from a distance, you've always been the link, the glue, to a lot of stuff that you did, and you shared it throughout this time. Just even the work to put in, no matter what, whether it's your career that you're doing now, whether it's athletically, whatever, just that work to put in, man. And it was interesting you just sharing the whole thing, like when it was time to play, like basically, let me do my thing, let me do my, don't talk to me, we're not playing around, we got a job to do. And it sounds like that's kind of how you patterned your life, man. Like, just you got a job to do, whether it's a father, whether it's a athlete, whether in business, whatever the case may be, man. Like, I'm just so honored, like, to have this opportunity, man. Like I said, when I got your number and to reach out to you, man, I was just ecstatic. And Grant, I know I'm only a year behind you, man, but I still a little kid in me, that comes out, like, why I got a chance to talk to Walt. And I share this with a couple other people. I know my wife I probably drive her crazy every time I get off these calls because I'm so excited just because I got to reconnect or link up with somebody here. But just to hear you and just hear a little bit of stuff that I had no clue about, man. I appreciate you just sharing all of this, Walt, man. I salute to everything that you're doing and what you continue to do. And I just look forward to watch from afar, man. And if I ever hit Charlotte, crazy. I've never played golf a day in my life, man. I've never been on a golf course.
well, yeah, look, if you make it this way, man, we can do something else. I'm open. It don't have to be golf. The good thing is there's plenty to do around here, so we can
That's what I
definitely.
hear.
So, but I definitely appreciate the love. You reaching out and providing this platform. I think it's amazing what you're doing.
No,
Uh,
I appreciate it.
it's serving it's serving a purpose.
Hmm.
So I definitely appreciate you. I think I think everybody that's been involved probably feels the same way. Definitely amazing thing that you're doing. So I hope you keep it up. I hope you keep evolving. I hope maybe even it grows into something bigger if that's what you want, if that's what you aspire to do. But I can definitely see you got something here, and it's absolutely amazing. And I love it, bro. I love it.
Nah, thank you, man. Thank you. And you be well. And like I said, one way or another, it's a small world, man. We'll be in touch, obviously, between the Brevs and the
Yeah.
Mr. Knights and everything. I know when I talked to Mr. Knight, he was actually going to go play golf. He's like, I'm about to fly down to Florida and meet them to go play golf.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Times a year. That's Uncle Mel, man.
mhm.
One of them cats that's held me down from day one, right?
Yes, yes.
So love that dude. He's always been there for me. Connect me, him and Brev, and get out, get around there and here and there. So we about due for one. So just reminded me I need to holler at them cats and yo, what's up?
No, absolutely, absolutely. But Walt, you be well, man. And again, salute and thanks for everything, family.
All right, brother. Thank you, man. Be safe,
Like,
bro.
Likewise. Peace.
Peace.
Wow. Just getting a touch base with Walt. Here's some things I hear about, but same guy back then, the same guy now, as far as just putting in that work and making things right, and cool as could be, man. Walt, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. With that said, I'm just gonna step to the side. I put my hand over my heart. I can't even talk. I put my hand over my heart. That means I feel you. Yeah.